Now our next step here is we're going to make a sauce. So what we're going to talk about is basically the properties of that sauce. Basically, I've been cooking for a long time, and I have my own philosophy on how to make a sauce and how to hit your palate. Your palate has different flavor profiles on your tongue. You have salt, you have sour, you have bitter, you have sweet. What I try to do when I'm making a sauce is hit all of those flavor profiles. And that way there, when you actually taste some of your food, it basically explodes in your mouth, which is what you're looking to do. So what we're going to do is, once this comes off, I'm going to put that into my oven also and finish that off. But then we're going to have a background. Our background for this is going to be a little shallots. So we're going to have shallots in there for our background. Then we're going to go into basically our stock or our base. And our base for this is actually going to be a little bit of chicken stock and a little bit of white wine in there. Then what we have to do is we got to bring an acid into this. Now our acid is actually our lemon. All right. The neat part about the lemon is I'm actually going to add that in a little bit later, but I'm also going to have a touch of champagne vinegar in there. And what I want to do is I want that acid to come out. And what that acid does, it doesn't need to be a lot. It brings all those flavors out. It's like salt. Salt is a catalyst. And why I say that is salt is basically going to be, I'm just going to put the chicken in the oven also. So that goes in. All right. And I'll come back to that story in a minute with the salt. All right, so basically we have our pan here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pick out a little bit of this here, put my scrap here. You notice I took the pan off the stove, again, very hot. So I'm going to put a little bit of shallots in there. See, they toast right up. With that, all right, I want to get them opaque, which I did. So I'm going to hit that with my wine. A little bit of stock. Okay, a touch of champagne vinegar. And my lemon. So I have my fresh lemon. I'm going to give it a taste just to see what we got. I got a good amount of acid in there. I want a little bit more. I'm going to hit more lemon in there. Okay. I'm going to blend all those ingredients. I want to see that reduce a little bit. There it is. That's the lemon I'm looking for. So I want to reduce that. So now, like I was talking about with the salt. All right, so right now we have, put chicken stock in there, right? I don't think I did.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm going to add a little chicken stock in there. All right, I'm going to let all these marinate and reduce. All right, while this reduces, one, it's going to cook off the alcohol in the wine. All right, so we can get that out. I'm not going to flame the dish so much, but I'm going to let that cook out. We have in there our lemon in there, our acid from our champagne vinegar, and then our base from our chicken stock in there. As that reduces, let's go back to that salt and the catalyst. So what we're looking for is salt draws out. All right, think about salt cod, things like that. Think of the other video you guys just watched that Ron did with making the salmon dish. All right, it draws out the moisture. So basically, same theory here. What we're doing here is we're drawing out the flavors with that salt. So I haven't put it in there yet, but I will. So right now, all of these are reducing, marrying down. And what we're going to do is we're going to marry all of that product with the butter. All right. So let's go back to what I was talking about. You need your background, which we have shallots, we have herbs for a background. We have our base, which in this particular one is our stock. All right. We have our acid, which is our lemon juice and our champagne. All right. Then we're going to marry this guy with our butter or creams or fats. Hungarian food, a lot of fats. I'm sure you guys will get to that point. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look to have my butter in here. Now, when you're making a sauce, all right, you got to make sure, because think about when you melt butter, think about melted butter for lobster, it separates, all right? We don't want this to separate. We want the whey in the butter, all right, the water that we have in here, the product we have in here, the stock, to marry all that so they all stay together, all right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to look, I want it to reduce down a little bit more, but we're going to marry that. And too bad you're not with us, because I would like you to taste these different things. I can show you the different products on here, and we'll have to get to that point, but with this virus going on, I guess we're not right now. But right now you get a very sharp flavor in there because of the acids. What this butter is going to do is it's going to tone all that down. All right, so we're going to take some butter. All right, a little bit of butter, right? That goes into our dish. Alright, and then what we want to do is we want to swirl that right in. We don't want to let the butter idle, because if it's idle, it's going to separate. Like I said, you want that whey in the butter, alright, and your liquid to all come together. Alright, you notice I'm leaving it on the heat because I want that to melt, which we did. We got to that point there. And you notice the butter's not separated. It's a nice sauce, loose sauce, but a nice sauce. We'll give it a little taste, see what we got for flavor. All right, now what this did was it took those sharpness, and it's still there, but it dulled those down. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do two things now. All right, we're going to touch it with a touch of salt. And again, what this salt is going to do is it's going to bring out those underlying flavors. It's going to bring out that white wine. It's going to bring out that chicken stock. All right, and it's going to basically bring out the lemon juice more, but it rounds everything out. I know you can't taste it, but now, like I said, you're getting that smoothness from how we started with smoothness from the stock, from the wine, all of that's there. Nice mellow. The butter gives it that nice feel to it, the mouth feel to it. A little bit of parsley now for background. Gets it in there. All right, so it's nice. All right, nice little sauce that way. All right, and like I said, French cooking, everything kind of all stands alone. So this sauce, you put the sauce on anything, it's going to stand alone. It's going to be prominent. It's going to come out at you. We're going to look now at our chicken. All right, we want to plate our chicken. All right, and what I did for our chicken dish is I've already taken the liberty of roasting off some potatoes, having our asparagus set, so I can show you basically the plating. And I want you to notice too, when you're plating, look at your plate. All right, I don't know if you can see the plate. All right, but there's a pattern on this plate. All right. I have roses up here. All right, when you plate a dish, all right, it's like a picture. You're framing a picture to a guest. You want your guest to feel appreciated for what you're doing. You want to take the time to make things look right. All right, so when we're looking at this plating of a dish, I have my rose up there. The plate's facing me nice. It's all symmetrical what we're doing. The other odd thing, and this might just be me and what I do and how I do things. But when you plate things, you know, well, you guys probably had Sambuca by now, maybe. But if you're ever going out to a restaurant at Sambuki, they'll give you 3 to 5 coffee beans, normally 3 coffee beans in there. When you're plating certain things with a veg, a potato, and then have a count to it, I always use an odd amount. I don't use an even amount. And I don't know, because I think it breaks up the symmetry of it, but it gives you that contrast you're looking for. All right, so basically what we're going to do now, I'm going to take my chicken in there. I'm going to kick this back in the oven for a minute while I'm playing with this one. All right, so we have our chicken dish here. Now we're going to put our sauce on top of it. Okay, you notice our sauce, everything's in the rim. You want it all in the rim. Wipe that up a little bit. Alright, and then because we have parsley in there, we're going to finish it off with a nice parsley garnish on top. Alright, so that's our first dish. I don't want to spill the sauce, but that's our first dish. Nice plate presentation, everything's in the rim for the most part. And when you go to serve this dish, alright, when you serve a dish, you want the entree pointed at them. You want, when they sit, so you're going to serve this dish, someone's sitting right here, you bring this in and serving it entree first. Alright? You don't want to slap it down this way, as I spill. You don't want to have the veg or the potato in front of them. You want to make sure it's a nice dish. You're proud of what you just did. You want to make sure that you represent that in your dish. Alright, so that's our first dish. I'll rest that over here. Alright, but before I go into my second dish, I do want to show you that seared chicken. Alright, so this is a lot of what I was talking about with a French food is, and I'll turn this to you, is you want to sear it off so you have nice juice coming out. Alright, that's the whole idea when you sear off a product. Alright, you want to have that nice flavor coming out at it.